Hey, what's up, big? OPERATIONiDROID here, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to jailbreak your iOS device running iOS 10.2, 10.1.1, and 10.1. Now, these are the only firmwares that can be jailbroken, and if you're not already on that firmware by some chance, then unfortunately, you cannot jailbreak your iOS device. There's no way to get on those firmwares at this time, so just check your settings, see if you are on that firmware, and if you are, then you can continue with this video. Now, you may be wondering why you would jailbreak your iOS device. What are some of the things that you can do with a jailbroken iOS device? Well, there's a ton of awesome things that you can do with it. You have full control to customize your iOS device with custom themes. You can have moving wallpapers. You can do things for accessibility like changing into dark mode, as well as you can also do things that'll just make your iOS device better, like getting 3D touch on iOS devices that do not have 3D touch, as well as getting picture-in-picture, which is only exclusive to iPads on your iPhone, and much more. Now, that's only the beginning to jailbreaking. There's so much more that you can do with it, and as I mentioned in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to jailbreak, how to get the things I mentioned, and also just get you started with using your jailbroken iOS device so you know what to do with it. I spent a lot of time working on this tutorial, so if you all enjoy it, please hit that like button as it helps out the video tremendously and I truly appreciate it. But now, without any further ado, let's head into the tutorial. Alright, before we begin, there is a couple things that I would like to mention. The 10.2 and 10.1.1 and 10.1 jailbreak are different jailbreaks. So 10.2 is one jailbreak, 10.1.1 and 10.1 is another jailbreak. The 10.2 jailbreak does not work with the iPhone 7, and these two jailbreaks do not support 32-bit devices. So iPhone 5C, all of that, you can check the description for more information, but in this video, I'm going to be doing the 10.2 jailbreak, so if you have 10.1.1 or 10.1, then the process is exactly the same. Just copy the links in the description for the 10.1.1 or 10.1 jailbreak instead. The next thing that I'd like to mention is that this is a semi-untethered jailbreak, which means that every time you turn off your iOS device, you will lose the jailbreak, but you can get the jailbreak back by opening the application that I'll be showing you how to install shortly and pressing go to restart the jailbreak. Now, this application that I just mentioned and that I'm going to be showing you how to get shortly expires every 7 days. So every 7 days you'll have to do this jailbreak process again with your computer, and it doesn't take too long, but just keep that in mind. So if your jailbreak ever stops working, you know the two reasons why. Either your device turned off or your jailbreak app expired. So now that we got that out of the way, I just wanted to give you a heads up about that, and let's continue with the tutorial. So the first thing you want to do is head to the description and copy the link that I have for Cydia Impactor, and head to your favorite web browser and paste that link into the URL. Once you arrive at the Cydia Impactor website, you're going to download the Cydia Impactor version for your software. So I'm using Mac, but it works on Windows, Linux, so just download it for your software, and then head to the jailbreak website that I have in the description below for your appropriate firmware and download the IPA. Once you have this IPA downloaded and Cydia Impactor, we can go ahead and install Cydia Impactor into our computer. If you already have Cydia Impactor, then just keep watching the video and then we can continue. So installing Cydia Impactor is very simple. As I mentioned, this does work on Windows and Mac, so just follow along with what I'm doing, and once you have Cydia Impactor installed, go ahead and open it. Once you have Cydia Impactor open, connect your iOS device to your computer, and then when you see your iOS device's name on Cydia Impactor, you can drag the IPA file that we downloaded into Cydia Impactor, and then it'll ask you for your Apple ID and password. Go ahead and enter that Apple ID and password that's on the phone that you want to jailbreak. It has to be the Apple ID that's on the phone that you just connected and you want to jailbreak, and once you do that, Cydia Impactor will sign the IPA of the jailbreak application onto your phone. And once you've done that, you'll have an application on your phone. You can go ahead and open that application. If you're on 10.2, it's Yalu. If you're on 10.1.1 or 10.1, it's Match Portal. But when you try to open the application, it'll say it's an untrusted developer. So to get past that, you want to head to your settings, go to General, scroll down to Device Management or Profiles in Device Management, find your Apple ID, and go ahead and trust your Apple ID. Once you've done that, we can head back home, and now we can open the Jailbreak application. And for Yalu, all you have to do is select Go. Ignore any of the pop-ups that say it may slow down your phone. That's just there because this jailbreak is in beta, but it is very stable, especially the 10.2 jailbreak. It's extremely stable. But once you hit Go, it might pause on Go for a couple of seconds, then your device will respring as you can see on screen. And then when it's done, then you can unlock your phone and you will see that you now have the Cydia icon on your iOS device, which is the app store for all your jailbroken needs. Cydia is awesome, and you can go ahead and open it. And when you first open Cydia, it'll load a ton of stuff. As you can see at the bottom left, it's loading all the sources. Just give that some time. It may take a very long time depending on your internet connection. And then once it's done, you have Cydia, which is awesome. And you can search for packages on Cydia. For example, Zeppelin, which is a sweet package that I recommend that you all get. And you can go ahead and install it by selecting install and confirm at the top right. And that is how you install stuff from Cydia. It's that simple. Now, as this jailbreak is still in beta and relatively new, there's some stuff on Cydia that does not work on iOS 10.2, 10.1, or 10.1. So I'll have a link in the description that has a huge Google Doc that shows everything that is working on Cydia now, and you guys can check that out. And always check that out before you install something, because if it is not working on iOS 10, it will crash your iOS device and you'll have to restore it via DFU mode, which is a pain in the butt. So don't download anything unless you know for sure that it works on iOS 10 for the next couple of months. So as you can see, we just installed Zeppelin, and what it does is changes the carrier text at the top left of your device into an icon, or you can make it into your own text. So as you can see, there's all these icons here, and you can download more Zeppelin icons on Cydia if you'd like. And you can pretty much just change it to any of the things that you'd like. It's super cool. It's one way of customizing your phone, which is one of the most awesome things that you can do with a jailbroken phone, as well as you can change your carrier text. And if you're going to type something, type space 8 times before you type it, or else it will not appear. So hit space 8 times, then type out whatever you want to type out, and it will appear in your carrier text, which is pretty sweet. Heading back into Cydia, something else that you'll need to know for using Cydia is that you can add sources to download stuff that is not already on Cydia. So if you head to sources at the bottom left and then go to edit at the top right and then select add, you can add a source, which I'll have linked in the description below, with a ton of other sources that you can add as well. And with these sources, you'll have access to repos that have packages that you can install on your iOS device that Cydia normally doesn't have. Now, when you add a repo, most of the time you'll see that your changes has an upgrade. Go ahead and do that upgrade before you install anything from the repo, just to be safe. And then of course it'll restart. I've sped it up for the sake of the video. You guys can just pause and play wherever you see fit to continue with the video. And then once you have this source installed, we're going to be installing a tweak that's called Bootstrap Plus, or Rocket Bootstrap. There we go. And you can find it by using the search, or you can go to sources like I did and then going to all packages and then looking for the R. We're going to go ahead and queue this. So instead of hitting install, we're going to select continue queuing. And then we're going to download something else, which is called Anemone, which gives you complete control to theming your iOS device, as I showed at the beginning of the video. So now I'm going to hit confirm, and what I did with the queuing before is that now that the Rocket Bootstrap and Anemone downloaded at the same time, which is really cool. And in order for Anemone to work, you do need to download Rocket Bootstrap. That's why I had you guys install it before. And this is Anemone. It is an application that allows you to install themes onto your iOS device and change the icons, change the dock, change blurred reflection, icon labels. There's so much you can do, but you actually have to download the themes from Cydia. Right now with Anemone, if you select preview, you can see how your iOS device will look, and as you select different things with the Anemone main theme, you can change it. As you can see, no dock, no icon labels, and now that is how your iPhone or iOS device will look if you hit apply. However, installing themes is like the biggest thing that you can do with Anemone, which is super cool. However, at the moment, since the jailbreak is still in beta, if you want to install a theme, for example, Avaya, which is a great theme, you're not allowed to purchase it because of the fact that this is in beta, but you can install free themes, and one free theme that is really cool is Lotus. And you can go ahead and install it because it is a free theme and it is working on iOS 10. There's only one icon that is not compatible, which is the new TV icon, but you can just hide that if you're not into it. But once you install the Lotus theme, you can head home and back into an enemy, but you'll notice that Lotus isn't there. Whenever you install a theme via Cydia, you'll have to kill an enemy from the backgrounding and then open it again, and then you'll see the theme that you just installed, in this case, which is Lotus. I'll have a ton of other free themes linked in the description below that you guys can download if you're not really into Lotus, but I think Lotus is super sick. So I'm going to go ahead and check off all the things that Lotus applies, and when I select preview at the top right, you guys can see how Lotus will look, which is really nice, and I'm going to go ahead and apply it. The icons are great, they're very minimalistic and simple. They look awesome, but they don't really look well with the classic iOS 10 wallpaper. So if you switch up your wallpaper, you can see how the theme just really comes alive. As you can see here, I'll have all these different wallpapers linked in the description below as well if you want to download them. But they're all very cool. They all look great with an enemy. As you can see, it's just like your iPhone just transforms when you have a great wallpaper and theme. And that's one of the things that I love about customizing my iPhone with a jailbreak. So the theme that I chose was this lock screen here and this home screen with Lotus, which I think looks amazing in my opinion. But that's pretty much the basics to Cydia, installing packages via sources and searching for them. However, as I mentioned, the Cydia store is not accepting paid purchases, so you can still get paid apps if the developer supports it. So for example, Noctis, which gives a dark theme to your iOS device, which I think is super cool, but it does cost money. You can still get it by heading to the Noctis website that I'll have linked in the description below, and it'll ask you to put your Cydia ID. If you don't know what your Cydia ID is, you can go to this website that I'll have linked in the description below, and you can create one via Facebook or Google. In my case, I already have one, so I'm just going to go ahead and sign in, and I'm going to use this website here to get my Cydia ID. Once you sign in and create an account, you'll see your Cydia ID, and then you can insert that into the text fields that you see on the website, which of course will be linked in the description. Then it'll take you to PayPal. You can pay $2, and then you have purchased Noctis, and the Noctis developer will send you a source via your email that you use to purchase it, and then you can install that source, and within that source you'll have Noctis, which is super cool. Noctis is awesome. I really like dark themes, especially like across anything, whether it's Twitter, whether it's my messages, whatever the case may be. I love dark themes, and it looks super good with the theme that I'm currently doing with my phone, which is Lotus. So once you install Noctis, as I just described, you'll see that it has settings within your settings. So here you'll have Noctis, and there's a lot of different things that you can customize. As you can see, the control center is now in dark mode, which is awesome, and you have a dark mode tab that you can select on and off if you want to turn it on or off. Maybe you just want to use it at night, then you can do that in the settings. And besides your control center, Noctis also changes a lot of different things into dark mode, as we saw in the photos that I showed you earlier. It does your control center, it does your notification center, it does your messages, banners. It does a lot of dark moding. You can also do your folders if you turn that on in the Noctis settings, and it looks awesome. I really like dark modes. As I mentioned, Noctis is sweet. You do have to pay for it though, but it's something that's really cool that I recommend to anybody that likes dark modes and wants to customize their phone via jailbreak. The next thing I'm going to be showing you is Horseshoe. Now, Horseshoe can be added by going to your sources in Cydia and adding the source that I have linked in the description below for Horseshoe. And what Horseshoe does is that it combines your two control center tabs, the music and the main tab, into one, and it makes it look amazing. You guys are going to see in just a couple of minutes. But once you install this source, go to the app section of that source and install the AT Weeks Connect application. And once you install that, it'll give you an app like so, and here you can sign in, and just like how we did with Noctis, we're going to put our Cydia ID and just go ahead and register. And this is also $2 Horseshoe, so you can go ahead and pay with PayPal. And once you pay with PayPal, it'll give you a repo to add. You can go ahead and add that repo by selecting add that repo after you pay via the app, and it'll take you straight to Cydia, which is super cool, better than with Noctis in my opinion. And you can select install source and it'll automatically install the source on your iOS device. Then you can go to the source and you can find Horseshoe there, and then you want to sign in to Horseshoe with the account that you use to sign in to the AT Week Keys application. So once you've done that, select go, and then it'll say you have successfully authorized. Now once you've done that, you can hit confirm and install it just like any other tweak from Cydia, and then you'll have Horseshoe. As I mentioned, Horseshoe combines your control center into one. So you know how you have one tab for music and your main tab? Well, this combines both of the tabs. As you can see, the music is now in my control center, and when you play a song, it honestly looks great. Having everything on one page is super convenient, and it makes your control center look really sleek and nice. As you're going to see here, I have my music playing there. I can play and pause it. I can also skip to the next song. If I want to raise the volume, I can raise the volume. If I want to raise my brightness, all I have to do is click on the left and switch from volume to brightness, which is awesome. And under that, as you can see, it also adds AirDrop and AirPlay all into a couple of convenient tabs there. Using Horseshoe and Noctis together just makes a complete and masterful control center the way that it should have been. I love Noctis and Horseshoe together, and I recommend that you guys get it if you want to be able to customize your phone the way that you see mine here. Now that you've learned how to use Cydia, getting applications and tweaks that you normally wouldn't because Cydia is still in beta, that's pretty much it. You now know how to use Cydia, and for the remainder of the video, I'm going to show you some other awesome stuff that I recommend that you get on your iOS device to just continue with the jailbreaking process. The next thing I'm going to be showing you how to get is dark messages. You can add the source for dark messages via the description below, and then you could just install it. And as you can see, dark messages does what it says. It gives a dark theme to your messages, which I think looks really nice, especially if you're using Noctis. Just having this dark theme across your whole device looks really nice in my opinion. So that was dark messages. The next thing is status volume X. There'll be a source linked in the description that you guys will need to install in order to get this. So just go ahead and do that. And what status volume X does is that it moves your volume from the middle of your screen to the top of your screen in a very minimalistic way that is non-obtrusive, and I think is super great because it takes away that annoying big thing from the middle of your screen to the top of it. The next thing is lithium ion. This is another source you'll have to add from the description below, and what it does is it changes the normal battery at the top right to anything that you'd like. There's a ton of themes that they have in the lithium ion settings that you can find within the settings app, and you can change it to whatever you like. As you can see, I have the Ion Connect, which is a couple of dots. There's also the Zelda hearts, which is really cool. And just like you can customize your carrier text, this is a really cool way to customize your battery and just like show off how your battery is pretty different. I think this is cool because it also shows more levels to your battery if you don't use percentage, which is cool. The next thing is Color Flow 2 now. As Cydia is still in beta, you cannot buy this application at the moment, but because I had bought it in the past, I can install it. And as you can see, what it does is that it changes the regular Spotify player to a color that matches the album cover that you see here. Now, at the moment of this video, it only works on Spotify, but in the future, it'll also work with the Apple Music app, which is really cool. The next thing is Wallpaper, which is something that a lot of people like. You can install it via the source linked in the description below. And what it does is that it changes your wallpaper into a video. So if you go to manage current theme, go to Springboard Video and select enable. It only works on your home screen at the moment. And then you select manage themes. You can download more videos by selecting download more videos. And then you can download from any of these repos here. And then you can download the size specific to your phone. You can download lower ones if your device is bigger, but the iPad ones only work on the iPad. So you can scroll through here and find a video wallpaper that you like. And once you've done that, you can go ahead and click on it to download it. And once it's downloaded, you can head back to select video, and you can select that video wallpaper that you just downloaded. Now, this doesn't consume too much battery life. You'd think it'd consume a lot of battery life because it's a video wallpaper, but it honestly doesn't. And then if you head to global settings, you can also lower the transparency if you'd like. And once you've done that, when you exit wallpaper, your device will respring, and then you'll see that you have a video wallpaper. For some themes it looks really nice. As you can see with Lotus, this video wallpaper looks pretty nice. I prefer the icons not to be transparent, and that is video wallpaper, which is awesome. The next thing is Peekaboo, Hoppin, and Grasshopper. These are all on the same source, which I'll have linked in the description below. What they do is that Peekaboo and Hoppin will allow 3D touch on devices that do not have 3D touch, and within your settings you can increase the sensitivity for Peekaboo and Hoppin. And what it does is that when you put a little bit of pressure or less of your amount of finger, you'll have access to 3D touch on your icons, as you can see here. And Hoppin and Peek and Pop allows for you to like open links within the application. And then Grasshopper is really cool. It brings picture-in-picture to devices that normally wouldn't have it. For example, my iPhone 6, and then you can get any video that you're watching and put it into picture-in-picture mode so that you can watch a video and do other things at the same time, which is super cool. If you want to do it with YouTube, it only works with YouTube Red. Unless you watch YouTube through Safari, then it will work without YouTube Red, as you can see I'm doing now. But if you want to do it through the YouTube app, you will need YouTube Red. But yeah, that is Grasshopper, which is super cool. This is one of my favorite tweaks. And the next thing we're going to be showing you how to get is iCleaner. You don't have to add a source for this. It will be in Cydia. You just have to search for it. And it'll install an application on your Springboard. And what this does is that it'll clean your device of any like miscellaneous files that you don't need. And as you can see, when I select clean, and when it finishes the process, it took away 888 megabytes from my iPhone 6, which is pretty crazy. That's a lot of freed space. I mean, 426 megabytes. That's a lot of freed space that I just got back just by using iCleaner, which is awesome. The last thing I'm going to be showing you in this video is CC Record. This allows you to record your screen straight from your control center. As you can see, there's now like a little video tab next to the camera, and that's not for videos, but in fact it's for recording your screen, which is really cool. So once you do that, when you click the button again, it'll end your recording and you'll have the recording straight in your Photos app, which is awesome. Thank you for watching. I cannot believe you made it to this point in the video. This was a very long video and I appreciate your support. Please hit that like button if you'd like to see more jailbreak videos, and comment down below what you'd like to see if you would like to see more, because your feedback and support means everything to me. I read all the comments, so I'd love to hear what you all have to say. I really want to make more jailbreak videos, so I hope you all are excited for that. And if you have not subscribed yet, I highly recommend you do so by clicking on my icon on screen now to subscribe, because hopefully, if you guys want, I'll be making more jailbreak videos in the near future. As always, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and welcome to the operation.